Welcome to the FutureDDS Dental School Experience Series, where we help you decide which dental school is right for you. Now, every school is unique and will provide you with a different experience, and we thought who better to explain to you what a school has to offer than a student who actually goes there. Our goal in this series is to give you a firsthand perspective of every dental program in America and ultimately help you make the right decision. Today, we'll be showcasing Mean Hall, who is a D1 at Midwestern University School of Dental Medicine in Arizona. So Mean, thank you for joining us. How are you doing today?
Thank you, Tyler. Doing good. Thanks for having me on your show. This is exciting.
No problem at all. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. If you could just tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, where you went to undergrad, and what kind of got you interested in dentistry.
Okay, so I'm Mean Hall. I'm a D1 at Midwestern University, and I'm originally from Thailand. I'm also I guess you would call it an untraditional student. I was a finance major in undergrad at Butler University in Indiana. So I moved to Thailand to the Midwest and spent some time there getting my, went through high school and then went through college there. So I thought I considered myself an Indiana student, but there's a twist in the stories. Anyway, so I was working in finance for a couple of years and wasn't as satisfied with my career. So I looked into, there's a friend who was a PA, and he was like, oh, it's a really nice career choice. You should look into it. So I looked into it, and he has very flexible schedule and everything. And he was very satisfied with his job. So that's when I kind of got interested in the medical track. I've always been really good with my hands. So, I thought about dentistry a long time ago, but then I saw that it was 8 years and I just like, all right, I'm not even going to do it. I wanted to come out. I wanted to make money, not to live my life. And I thought that would be something really fun for me and rewarding. But at the time I was like, oh my gosh, there's going to be mountains of debt. And, by the time I come out, I'll be like old. So anyways, once I wasn't really satisfied in the business world, I switched over. I took classes, all the prerequisite classes at night. First, it was for PA school. And then I saw that I only needed like anatomy and physiology for dentistry. For most dental schools. I guess some don't even require anatomy and physiology, I don't think. But anyway, so I was like, oh, this could be really great. I just have to take the DAT. So it was kind of like a stumbling process, but I know I really loved working with my hand in general from the beginning. So that's when I went back to school and got all of the credentials and everything to apply.
Wow. So you were determined.
Yeah, I was.
No, but you got in, so that means everything worked out, and we're happy that you're here with us today. So, if you can you kind of tell us a little bit about your school? So, like, where it's located, what's the city like, and also I want to ask you, how big is your class?
So we have a pretty big class. So it's located in Glendale, Arizona, which is about half an hour north of Phoenix. So it's in the suburban area. It's not downtown like most schools are. We have a class of 142 currently. So it's a pretty big class compared to other school. And I've learned about it. There's 2 campuses actually. One is in Chicago, Illinois. Downers Grove, I believe, is the town. I actually used to work in Chicago, and
So did I.
Oh, really? Where?
So I worked at Oral Health America. It was right on North Michigan. It was like right next to the big park.
Oh, so you're from Chicago then?
Well, no. I'm from Atlanta, but I just worked there for a little bit.
Oh, wow. That's a odd city to go
Yeah.
to.
So there's a lot going on.
Yeah, so they have 2 campuses there. At the time, so I was working in Chicago for a year or 2, and then I moved down to Florida, and I knew I didn't want to be by the cold, so I was like, okay, I think the Arizona campus will be a better fit for me. So I applied there first. It was how, I'm sure you know how the application process.
Yeah.
Apply, and when August rolled around, I still didn't hear back from a lot of schools that I applied to, which made me nervous.
Right.
So I like gradually applied to more school, even though like, the chances of getting accepted, didn't hear back from some of my priority schools. So
I'm sorry. So you just broke up for like the last minute. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know why this internet is going in and out. Can you just repeat the last minute of that really quickly?
sure. So where did I?
The last thing we heard was you started to slowly apply to more and more schools because you hadn't heard from your number one choice yet.
Right. So I was just one of those nervous Nancy ones where like, oh, okay, maybe I should have applied to more. So like I think through August, maybe the August, early September. So those were like the last schools that I would apply to. But I applied to Midwestern Arizona in, I believe, the end of June. So
Okay.
and I heard back. That was the first school that I heard back from, and I submitted my application, and they contacted me with the invitation offer or for the interview the next day, which was like the fastest I've.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's actually really fast.
Yeah, I mean, all the other schools took quite a while.
Right. Right. So everybody don't get nervous if you don't hear back in one day. That's very.
That's not mostly.
Yeah, that's intense. That's intense. So what made you say, you know what, I want to go to Midwestern? What was like some of the key factors in you making your decision when it comes to actually going to that school instead of all the other schools that you applied to?
So I think this will be very, situationally. Most people, money is a big factor.
Yeah.
It's one of the, number one factor in location to family, and it depends on how much those things mean to you. And timing is important. The cheapest school that I have gotten into was the last one who let me know that I got in. And by that time, it's like I've already made it my choice.
Yeah.
I picked up everything and moved, by the time that the cheapest school let me know, which like at first I was like teasing myself about, oh, maybe, I could move again. But timing is almost everything too. I think, and depending on your priority list with, which school you wanted to go to and cost. A lot of my schools here, they have scholarships from the Navy, Army, whatnot, because it is an expensive school. It's one of the most expensive schools in the country too. Not that most are pretty expensive.
Yeah,
I got into a few state school, and it was came out to about a similar price range because I was out of state. So that's also a factor,
Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, I think people should definitely be cognizant of price, because that $300 that you take out now, 20 years from now, that it's like 800,000. I mean, those are the little things that people don't necessarily tell us when we're taking out these huge amounts of loans. So it's definitely something to be cognizant of. So if you can we go back in time? I guess it was just last year. Can you kind of walk us through the interview process?
Sure. So you get two faculties and one D2 that will be sitting in, and sometimes they will ask you questions as well. But most of the ones that I've personally got, and from my classmates too that I've heard, they were situational / ethical questions, which they just wanted to know how you handle problems and things like that. They ask things like, if your patient is late and you have another patient coming in, like what would you do? Would you reschedule, or would you, still complete the task? And sometimes still play good cop, bad cop, where one person is being really harsh on you. And but once you get to know them, after we got in here, they're all very nice. They just almost like are in the act of, freaking you out.
Right,
And
right.
it's nerve-wracking, and that's like, oh, your first interview or your second interview. It's like you're scared because this is like your career determining moment.
Yeah.
But I'd say just be yourself. And what I've noticed too with my school is they really have a lot of people from different diversities, and not just like skin colors. As I mentioned, it's like different backgrounds and different walks of life. I think our oldest person in class is like almost 50, with kids that are like my age, So
Wow.
it's crazy. And some of them have gone to medical school, some of them have gone to PA school, a lot of nurses. So quite a few career switchers like myself.
Right.
And I think they really value that you can bring something else to the table. So at first I was nervous, being from a totally, completely different field. But, I think some school will take that as a plus and some school will take that as a minus. Well,
Oh,
but you
definitely.
have to own your track and say, hey, this is my perspective. This is my background. I can help you by bringing this value to the table, and really just be yourself, I think.
I'm sure that your finance background will definitely help you, when you have your own practice in the future.
Hopefully we'll pay off the debt soon.
Right? Very true. Hey, I might need to get some tips from you because it's rough over here. But
Is stuff pretty pricey as well, or?
oh yes,
Well, I'm sure cost of living is high.
exactly. We're in Boston, so I'm not
Yeah,
sure. I'm not sure about how Arizona is, but Boston is one of the most expensive cities to live
yeah, I've heard. But you guys got beautiful city and
in. Yeah, we're definitely in a major city, and we have all four seasons, and the winter is harsh, but the summer is amazing. So it works out. It works out. But
well, you're in Chicago, so guess
oh,
you'll be.
say it again.
You're used to Chicago, so I'm sure you'll be all right.
Very true. And you know what's actually kind of funny? I actually lived in Miami as well. I know you said you lived in Florida, so I lived in Miami for a little bit also.
Okay,
It's
wow.
crazy. It's
You're in
crazy.
Miami.
That's where I did my master's program.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Important tips. Another tip, I guess. So I was in kind of a slippery slope where I didn't have everything right away to apply. So I did they offered me a spot at the LECOM. That's why I went down there to Florida.
Ah,
But
okay.
so they have a master program where like if you get a 3.0, it's you're or 3.2 or something like that, you're granted an interview.
Mm.
And most of my classmates that I did were medical track, and they didn't require you to take an MCAT either. So any pre-med out there that wants like an easier route, that's a good way to go.
Right.
But
Yeah,
anyway, so I applied while I started the program because I was like, in case if anything doesn't go my way, then I'll have that as a backup. But I
right.
got December 1st, so I didn't finish the program. I just did half of it to just save money because I knew like I have the option.
Right. No, I think you made the right decision. Definitely.
Really.
Definitely. But okay, so you interviewed, and obviously you got in. So now I want to ask you about that transition. How was that first week of class? Did you all have like an orientation week, or did they just kind of throw you into the fire?
So I feel like, anything new is kind of like a new fire. But we did have orientation. I would say overall, D1 progression has been pretty nice and easy. Um, I mean, I wouldn't say easy. You still have to study quite a bit. But most of the classes, we have one full day of lab, which is every Monday. And the rest of the time, it's like quizzes, classes. But you're not required to go to all of the classes that they have recorded. So I just stay home and watch those lectures or do what I have to do to make sure I do well on the test. And I don't physically have to be there the whole time. So that's a nice part. Um, but next year, D2 here, they do a lot of lab work, and I think it's like 2 to 4 days a week, depending on your schedule. So it's gonna pick up just to get you ready for clinic.
No, definitely, because it will, because that's what we're going through right now. So I'm sure you'll enjoy yourself when you get there. It's
So
good.
that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I'm skipping as many classes I can, D1, just to, enjoy it. But I also go to a lot of the extracurricular things that they put up, like have lunch and learn every so often, and there's some very informative and important people that comes by, and I think all of those little things make a difference.
Definitely.
Like next couple of weeks, I'm going to the Dental Summit Institute. I don't know if you've ever heard from Dr. Costas. He's he's the one who created the Dentalpreneur podcast.
Oh yeah.
He's putting up a summit. He's from a couple hours north, but he's doing the Dental Summit Institute in Arizona here. I think it's in Phoenix or Scottsdale. So I try to go to all those things. Once it's right now, most things are free as a dental student. You look hard enough, you'll find it.
Wow. I didn't even know. Dang, I might apply next year or something. I don't know.
You should. I mean, because these things, and dentists come from all over the world to these things, and they cost like $1,000, $1,500, thousands of dollars per course, and you get CE credits and all those good things for free right now.
No. So do you listen to a lot of like dental podcasts and things like that?
I try to. I mean, obviously we're all busy, but driving to school and things like that, I try to. I think those are gonna be the important things,
No, that's what's gonna distinguish like people from. I mean, I don't want to say just podcasts, but I think like you said, doing all those extracurricular dental involved things. I think that's what's really going to distinguish like excellent from great, if that makes any sense.
But, investment in yourself, because your clinical skills could only take you so far. It's like I think it's 80% the people skills. So
definitely.
I'm a shy person generally, so I try to like make sure I do a better job at these things to improve myself.
Right. Well, hey, at least you're being proactive about it. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
So, hey, you're here. You're on this this interview right now. So, hey, that's very exciting. But anyway, okay. So let's keep it moving. So your typical day. Can you kind of give us a timeline of like, okay, I wake up at 7, I go to class at 8, from 8 to 3 is whatever it may be. Can you kind of give us a timeline of your day?
Sure. Obviously, it depends on the schedule, but most days starts at 8 a.m. So, I get up at between 6:30 and 7. I try to get up to do my workouts, but that failed quite a bit. So now I just go to class at 8 a.m. Usually, most Mondays are 8 to 5. That's lab day. Tuesday through, sometimes we have 7 a.m. tests, but that's after the test, then, most of the classes I skip. So I would say, depending on how your learning style is too, if you like to be there, go and listen to lectures all day, like you can do that. So that most days would probably be, 8 to 4, 8 to 5 for you. But I only go for the stuff that I know I need help on. I try to pride myself in being an efficient studier, study smarter, not harder.
No, I completely agree.
So my days are full Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesday go take tests or quiz or whatnot, and go to the required classes or classes that I feel like I need help. So from Tuesday to Friday, I would say mostly it's like a half a day, or there's morning classes and sometimes I skip and then I come to the 3 o'clock classes. Right. But on average, so full day Monday and then half day for the rest of the week. But I still study outside of those times.
Right.
Like my weekends I'm somewhat of a procrastinator, so Sunday would be like a study day for me too. So that takes up, outside of that 8 to 5 times quite a bit.
Right. No, definitely. Are you like one of those people who likes to put the recording on like 1.5 or 2.0, 2 point speed?
Us too.
Yep. Yeah, I do that sometimes too because, like, granted, it's great to be in class, but sometimes, I can really get the information in half the time, and I can even listen to the information twice, So I
Yeah.
think, like you said, it's all about your learning style. And that's also something that people should definitely try to learn or figure out before they start school, because that will save you a lot of time and a lot of, trying to study hard, like you said, whereas you could be studying smart. So
And it's
definitely.
trial and error too. Like I
Yeah.
went to all the classes, the first month or so, and I just felt like I do a better job when I'm outside of class where I can go as fast as I want on the information that I'm comfortable with. And sometimes I need to stop and yeah, like you said, go re-listen or go back a couple minutes or so to try to learn the information. It's a lot of information. It really is.
It's a
So
lot.
yeah, owning your study habits and your style is important. And I know some classmates that go to all the classes and they do just as well. And I know some that never go to class and they do fine too. So
Right. So it's
depending,
all up to you.
right?
It's definitely all up to you. And so, okay, so say somebody has watched this interview and now they're convinced, they're like, what, Mean is awesome. I want to go to Midwestern in Arizona. What's something that you would tell them to make sure that they had on their application, something that Midwestern really likes to see?
Excuse me.
No, you're fine.
So I would say have something unique about yourself that could tell like your story. I do feel that there is a trend in people that have work experience and different backgrounds.
Mhm.
So if you have that, I think that's great. If you don't worry too, because there are a lot. There's a girl in my class that was applying for this cycle, but got picked up last minute by the admission deans to
Mhm.
start with us. So it's like, if you're a strong young candidate that has, all the bells and whistles and not as much experience, that's fine too. I just think you just got to be yourself and just own your background.
Right. I agree. Don't try to lie about anything, right? 'Cause you will get exposed. You will get exposed. And so I remember you said that you attempted to work out. Uh, and I wanted to ask you, how do you balance, how do you manage your mental health? How do you balance that work-life balance? Because, that's extremely important. And a lot of people do work out to manage that. So, like, what are some of the things that you do?
So right now it's not as hard, but I'm sure, as you know, D2 will pick up, which I'm a little worried about. But right now, I between classes that I don't go to, sometimes I go to the gym at the school. I do kickboxing sometimes. Whatever kind of exercise that you like, but it is like make it a priority that you need to not just put your nose in the books all the time because that will drive you crazy at one point or another.
Insane. And so does like Midwestern have any like programs to like that kind of promote mental health?
Yeah, they have yoga
Mhm.
every whatever days. I don't really go to those, but they have a nice gym and they have classes, spin classes, yoga classes, and if you choose to, you can definitely go to those. There's also a couple gym really close by the school that all my friends goes to. So that's just something that you have to. And some of my classmates don't work out too, and they're fine. They're just
Right.
but most of the guys seems to play basketball or do some kinds of activities to
Right.
keep them sane. So
Right. It
but
makes
if
sense.
you want to draw and if that's your outlet, that's fine too. So
If you want to
just
watch movies, you can do that. If you want to sleep, you can do that.
yep.
Anything. But okay, so I know you're a first year, so you're not in clinic yet. But what is like the clinic process at your school? Like when do y'all start? When do y'all start to go in and assist? Like when do y'all do all of that?
So next year is when we go in more. Like they have rotations for us D1s to go. I think it's like we're on a quarter system. So they pair us up with a D3 and a D4 and to go observe them. But it's not like you can walk around and see different procedures and things like that. So that's like every rotation you go to the clinic to get your feet wet, just kind of know what to expect and things like that. You're just like an observer or shadower or whatnot. So that's as much, I guess, as we get to do in clinic for now. D2, I think and like next week we're going in and probing each other. So it's still just us D1s, but it's done in clinic. And they schedule patients for like the face and neck exam. That's our first like face or patient exposure, I guess. Is we do a head and neck exam on them, and that's in clinic as well. So that's like as much exposure that we get for first year.
Okay, like a little warm up. It makes sense. All right, so can you tell me what's unique about your school? Like if you were just to think of anything that you believe that Midwestern has that no other school has, what would it be?
So, that's one of the factors that I think like kind of edged me over to it. Like it is an expensive school, but when I first came here, all the faculties they were really top notch. Like, so, okay, I'm sure if you do enough research, you'll know that it's a private nonprofit school. So, and we do, I guess we evaluate every instructors that we've had after each quarter. And, if they don't do a good job, they let them go quickly. And that has happened quite a few times since last year. And we've heard, different stories. So they really keep people that are top notch, and the culture is really friendly. Like so they don't treat us like we're little kids and we're students. They try to implement like the colleague mentality and try to help each other and things like that. And I'm usually not the one to be like emotional or anything, but this did get me. Like we were going to, I think, a lunch, me and a few girls. It was someone's birthday, and we walked into a cafe after our practical, I think it was waxing practical, and our dean happened to be there with his some of our lab instructors as well. For I think they're probably in a meeting or something. And we got done. We were about to pay, and the server told us, "Oh, that table has already, or someone has already taken care of your table." And I'm like, "What? Who?" And we didn't find out until we kind of drug our server down to tell us who paid for us, and it was the dean. And it's just like something really simple like that it's like, oh wow, I really made the right choice for me to come to this school. Was like the humanistic approach, if you want to put it in like
brochure terms.
Yeah, so it's just really nice. We do have a big class, so like I still haven't gotten a chance to get to know every single one of them, or the people here, but for the most part it's been a really good experience so far.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It really is the little things though that really can change your entire experience.
Mm-hmm.
Literally. So the fact that happened to you is awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. And
so,
go ahead.
oh, go ahead. No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
And I was just gonna say the instructors, they do outside of their work volunteering projects and all kinds of projects, and they have us on as well, and it's just great to see people out in the community helping out when they can, and it's not something that I guess every community has. So
Right.
that was somewhat important for me.
because you know they really care, right? No, that's awesome. And so I have one last question for you.
Okay.
For anybody who's applying to dental school, maybe not even necessarily looking to come to Midwestern, just applying in general, what would be one piece of advice that you would give them?
Apply early, early, early. I think that is like a make or break um, type situation. I've seen people with, below average DAT score, but they applied early and they got the spot. And the people that came after who has higher scores and higher GPAs didn't. Um, it's a lot of it is a game of luck too. It's a game of number. So I would say, if you can get your foot in early, even if you don't have everything lined up yet, just have enough to submit it, and then follow up with all the information that you need as fast as you can, obviously, because that's going to help your application. But yeah, I think that could be the difference in getting into your dream school or not.
Right.
Yeah.
Great, great. Mean, thank you so much. If you don't mind, do you have any like contact information that our viewers can reach out to you if they have any questions?
Yeah, sure. You can DM me in my social media. Instagram is Diary of a DMD. So yeah, I'll check those. And if anyone have any question about Midwestern or just anything pre-dent, just or an untraditional route, I know. So I'll try to help you to the best of my ability. So
Great.
feel free to reach out.
Thank you so much. Everybody, please reach out if you have any questions. Obviously, she is here to help you. So do not be shy. Thank you mean so much on behalf of FutureDDS and all of our subscribers. We know you're extremely, extremely busy. So once again, we really do appreciate you taking the time out to speak with us today.
And thank you, Tyler, for putting out all these great content.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
You're
Just
doing
trying to help. Just trying to help. But everybody, make sure that you like this video. Also, hit the subscribe and the notification bell so that you know whenever we post new content. But until next time, see y'all later.